Hey guys, Eddie the Magic Monk here. Today we're going to go through the operations of the cordless drain auger by Ryobi. Now the first thing you're going to need is a battery. So because we use a lot of Ryobi products such as the lawnmower, the leaf blower, things like that, we've already got a lot of batteries. If you just buy this, you will not get a battery. So make sure you have some batteries from somewhere else. And I'm just gonna put this battery in down here. All right, once it's slotted in, then you can start using it. Okay, so there are a lot of, I guess, options you can tweak on this machine. We're gonna go through them one by one. Okay, the first thing you're going to wanna look for is this little switch here. At the front, all right, near where the wire is, look for this little switch. Now, read what it says. Okay, read what it says. Right now, this part is blank. This part is blank as well. That means it's not engaged. That means this wire, this cable, it's not locked. So you can pull it in and out as you please. Okay, so just make sure you can do that right now. If you can do that, that's great. Now, we're gonna try locking it. So to lock it, just make sure you flick this down until you hear a little click. You can also use this side. Okay, hear that little click? Now what does it say? Clamp engaged. If you actually read it, it says clamp engaged. Says it on this side as well, clamp engage. Once the clamp is engaged, you won't be able to pull it in and out anymore. Okay, it's fully fixed. All right, so practice that. Okay, so I'm gonna go clamp disengage, right? Clamp disengage. So this part here, disengage, pull it in and out. Very good. So I'm now going to keep this disengaged. Okay, so there is no clamp. You can move it freely. The next part we want to look at is this part here that says auto feed. And what that means is when I press the switch, when I hold down the switch, I want this cable to move in and out automatically. Okay. There is a manual way of doing it, but because I want it to happen, when I hold down the switch, I want to turn this on. Now to turn it on, what you need to do is make sure this auto feed is sticking out on this side. You can see right now, it's sticking out on this side, okay, which is what we don't want. We want it to stick out on this side, okay? So in order to push this back through so it sticks out on this side, what I want to do is I want to hold up what's called a pommel, this gray bit. I'm going to push this up and I need to push this through here. Push it through. Okay, so now this part is flat. This part is extruding. That means I've turned on auto feed. Okay, auto feed is turned on. You can see a little lock symbol on the button. That means it's turned on auto feed. And now what I want to do is look at this gray button here. Now this gray button is talking about which direction is the wire going to be going through. Is it going out there or is it coming back in? Depending on where your cable is at, because this is already a bit long, I'm going to make it come in. So I'm going to press on this side of the button, make sure it's pushed in. Whichever side is pushed in, that's what this arrow is representing. So this arrow is representing coming in. I've pushed this side in, so it's going to come in. So I'm going to very gently hold this button. Why? Because this is designed to be spinning inside the drain. If I just suddenly press this really hard, it's going to spin like crazy. So I'm just going to very lightly push it. Okay, you can see the wire has come in. Okay, now if I want to extend the wire, I would push this side and I would hold down the trigger again and the wire is going to come out. Okay, so what about this auto feed thing? We want to now test it out. What happens if I push this auto feed, unlock it. If I push this on the other side, so in order to do that, I'll need to hold up the pommel and I'll push this to the other side. Okay, so now what this means is when I am holding down the trigger to spin it, it's no longer going to extend the cable. Have a look. All right, cable is not extending, and when I go back in, cable is not going to come back in. Okay, so if I want it to come back in, or if I want it to extend, because the auto feed function is switched off, I will need to pull the pommel. Okay, now in practice, I think I'm going to have auto feed switched on all the time. So I'm going to pull the pommel, I'm going to push this through, auto feed is back on, so that when I hold the trigger, it's just going to do it automatically without me having to use the pommel. All right, so every single functionality on this machine has now been explained. Now, one last little thing on this part that contains the cable, there's a little drain lid. You can pull this open. Right, and when this is open, you can let the water come out from the drain. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.